Let's try this again. Now I'm live. It just didn't like it last time.
It didn't like the stutter stop.
It didn't like something.
It's like I don't do this.
Now there's like a chat screen, and I'm confused. We're gonna ignore those.
Change is hard.
Change is hard. So I felt like this is a good thing to share with you guys because we sometimes give you like a D&D update specifically with character demon.
It was something possessed him.
Whatever possessed him, he's spending his entire afterlife fighting it in a never-ending battle.
We did get an epilogue. I mean,
so he's happy.
Yeah. Yeah, we TPK'd, guys.
Yeah, we
TPK'd. For any of you who play, we're playing. What are we playing again?
Temple of Elemental Evil.
So we're playing Temple of Elemental Evil, but we're also playing Return to the Temple of Elemental Evil because our DM is a madman. Yeah, that too. And so we have two sets of characters, two parties going in. The first group is going to Temple.
The first one is the Sam, my Sam character, my little Sam.
That's Return.
Yeah, but I'm saying
yes,
that's my Sam. Sam's still alive.
So what he did was he set up Return to Temple first, and we played through that, and then they found a journal in which the diary of the first party came through. It existed, and then we TPK'd.
And we died. We died
because he's
real
playing,
bad.
The reason I share all the backstory is he's playing it like the originals did.
Yeah.
So if you fuck up, you fuck up. He's not softballing us anywhere.
Well, it's also the fact that he rolled a nat 20 on stealth. And so a giant party came in.
Of bugbears, dude.
And gnolls.
But bugbears in particular are just assholes.
Like, we didn't get it. We were sleeping. They didn't even get a chance to, like, we couldn't even stand up until one of our strongest warriors got 30 points of damage, and we hadn't even leveled up to 2 yet.
Yeah. It got pretty bad. A lot of people got emotional. Believe it or not, I was okay.
You were good.
I did pretty well, I think. But poor friend Amanda, love of our life,
was saved by divine grace.
Yeah, like literally, like we were like, we got to find a way to keep her character alive, or else we're all going to be.
And I think Nick's character is going to be the brother of his character with almost the same stats that are going to come back and avenge his death.
My character was kind of happy to die.
Yeah.
As weird as it sounds.
Ronan was possessed by something, and we know Grace doesn't yet, but we know Ronan enough where he's like, well, if I'm going to die, I guess I'm going to die protecting the rest of you people, so I'll be the last one out.
Yeah.
And also I was
but the good news is we got to roll new characters. We got a whole lot more fun
stuff. And it's going to get real interesting real quick.
Yeah, well, already Nixie and I, because it's Nixie and I, and thanks to you guys in this podcast, we've learned how to improvise. Mm-hmm. Our friends, our characters are friends, and nobody else seems to understand why.
And so our characters came into this grove, and so Amanda's character, she's the one to survive, has called this new group together to go avenge people, and she's now very sort of stoic and very like angry about it. Yeah. And
which I think I would be too if all of my friends died.
And the two of our characters are basically Radagast.
Yeah.
And
I don't even know what
Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah. Well, it's like if Winnie the Pooh
and Chewbacca
and the dude had like a weird threesome baby, that would be
which can go
Nefreya,
invisible.
Which, by the way, his name's Nefreya.
Yes, Stargate call out.
Because it's something about there's a little bit of a Noxian vibe.
There's a very Noxian vibe in your character, and mine is basically like.
Also, he's a Furbolg. Furbolgs. Yes.
Mine, I think you could pinpoint it mine is a combination of Radagast from Lord of the Rings and Trelawney from Harry Potter.
Yes.
It's basically mine is.
But the best part
is she's an elf, 4.5 feet tall, with a fey battle corgi.
A dire
corgi. Well, not a battle corgi yet, because she can't actually he can't attack anything. A dire corgi who's a fey creature.
Yep.
And I was a battle wizard who went into the woods and forgot all about my battleness because I was frightened of it. So I don't know my name. I don't know anything. I've forgotten everything. The only creatures I've talked to in hundreds and hundreds of years is Grace's Nefrayu and my Fae Corgi Oberon.
Yeah.
I'm, like, basically lost it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nefrayu just thinks you're really interesting. You're really entertaining.
I'm basically, I'm Trelawney if she forgot the fact that she used to be like a Dumbledore level
like
fighter.
Horror. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's Trelawney if she used to be an Auror and didn't realize, like, has forgotten it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And has seen some shit.
Yeah. And has seen some shit, but now forgot it. So you call me Topsy, but otherwise I have no clue what my name is.
Because Nefrayu just made up a name because she's so
no one's had to call me a name. And so we did this entire scene, like, just improv'd it.
Off the top of our heads, I just whispered to Nixie, hey, go with me on this. It was the most exciting thing.
But even, we had 2 scenes where we did that. One, we were finding the message, the other one introducing ourselves, and we just riffed it, and everyone at the table's going,
what the fuck are you guys doing?
Just happened.
What's happening here?
Because we haven't had D&D characters that know each other
did you guys plan this? And we're like, nah, we're just good.
We didn't even make our characters knowing what the other character was.
We just have, 142 plus hours of...
So it's kind of fun because we've never had characters that knew each other before.
This is fun to share, so we'll keep sharing.
Yeah, we'll share it. Topsy, as she's currently called,
and Nefrayu,
and my Fae Mastiff-sized.
Oh right,
Battle Corgi Oberon.
From
there's a book series that I love called The Iron Druid.
Oh okay.
Who. Fantastic series, by the way. If you want like a really fun, they're short beach reads that are great. This amazing world, the Iron Druid series. He's like this thousands-year-old druid, and he has Oberon, who he can. He's just an Irish wolfhound.
Nice.
But he keeps him alive through immortality. It's a T, and he can telepathically communicate with Oberon.
Feels appropriate.
His Irish wolfhound.
Yeah, I dig it.
And the reason I am a fairy.
I wonder, like, when we finally hear Oberon, because eventually Nefrayu, if he doesn't die, will be able to talk to him.
Yes,
because of the type of druid that he is. Which, by the way, eventually Nefrayu can turn into him.
Yeah.
Because he's a creature. Maybe. I don't know.
We'll find that. Well, because he's still Fae. Maybe a duplicate.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. So basically you study a creature and then you can turn into it. But I don't know if it only applies to non-magical creatures. But I wonder what he'll actually sound like when I can hear him. Like, is he raccoonish? Or is he...
I'm still figuring out Oberon's character. He might actually be based on, like, Oberon from Iron Druid, which is basically just, like... the kind of if the dude was a dog in terms of, I like steak.
Yeah.
Can you drop some of that steak down here?
Yeah.
Can you just scratch just right here? Can you scratch that right there and
Can't
just
reach that spot there.
Yeah.
I like it.
But anyways, Iron Druid's a great series. It's a lot of fun.
Get on it.
He's basically because I also started watching Avatar. He's kind of Earthbender-y-ish. In that he gets all of his power from the earth. He walks around barefoot, but you get like Coyote in books and things like that.
That works.
Hey, Battle Corgi.
Battle Corgi is angry.
Hey, Battle Corgi, come here. Kaylee, come.
Our in-house Battle Corgi is unhappy with the neighbors because they are outside.
Yes.
God forbid.
Which, if you didn't know, fairies used to ride corgis into battle, which is where.
Let's actually get this episode.
Okay.
Well, how far in are we? Jeebus.
I don't know. We've been recording for, it doesn't tell me.
Doesn't matter.
Alrighty, 143?
143.
Welcome to episode 143 of the So Place Like Terra, a Stargate First Watch Rewatch podcast. I am Nixie.
And I'm Grace, and today we're going over Season 7, Episode 11, Evolution Part 1. Please excuse our battle corgi. My AK... Kaylee, if you step over these AKAs, because I'm really proud of them, our AKAs are Indiana Jackson, or Ungated.
Okay.
Which is a parody on Uncharted, or Darth Predator.
Darth Predator. See, mine was just something along the lines of I like Indiana Jackson, because mine was Indiana Jones and the Temple of
the Stargate.
Rubik's Cubes.
The Tesseract Rubik's Cube.
So this first, definitely some sort of Indiana Jones reference.
I'm in. Yeah.
August 22nd, 2003. Story is by Damon Kindler and Michael Shanks.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, of course.
He clearly wrote the Stormtrooper half of the episode. Directed by Peter DeLuise. So I'm just gonna jump right into this because there's a lot to say in this one.
Yeah.
So we start with Braytek and Teal'c, who are overseeing the carnage of a battle that they've walked into. The Jaffa of two Goulds, Ramus and Tilgath. Tilgath's dead. Mm-hmm. We don't get to meet him. It looks like there was a meeting, but
things have not gone. Doesn't look like things are happy.
Go well.
No.
There's one survivor. It's a Jaffa for Remus. He's like, you might want to leave.
Yeah, he wants a GTFO.
This was done by one person, and that one person quickly shoots that Jaffa dead from the clearing.
It was that guy, and I'm dead.
Yeah.
I'm here to push the story along, guy.
And there stands a black stormtrooper of a soldier.
I called him Predator.
Okay, I called him Stormtrooper.
That works too.
So, but I like Predator.
Yeah, because there's something Predator-ish.
There's very Predator-ish.
But I mean, you cannot deny that helmet.
Here's the reason I like Predator more than Stormtrooper, because this guy actually hits things.
Fair.
And a Stormtrooper would not.
Fair.
So, he's firing some energy weapon phaser type thing from his gauntlet, which is a good place for a weapon. And you can tell he's extremely deadly. Not punny at all.
No.
And considering that he took down whatever large group this was, and he almost, like, it's Teal'c and Braytek.
Yeah.
The two of them are able to, at the moment we think, take down this one warrior.
And even that, like, requires a lot of effort from them. This 2-on-1 fight.
It does. But at the time, we think that Braytek and Teal'c took down this one warrior when an entire two battalions and a Gould couldn't.
Which, I mean, for a second, we could almost believe that.
Totally, actually, completely believable.
Yeah, like, it's not completely unheard of.
I would buy it if they didn't. I mean,
they both survived another different fight.
Yeah.
I mean, it was tough going, but they did.
And the two of them were like, what the fuck is that?
This thing is real.
Credits. I'm going to pretend that Ramus is just named after the captain from Hunt for Red October. Whether it's true or not, that's my proof.
I really like that.
But Tilgath is actually a set of Assyrian kings. There was Tilgath the First, Tilgath the Second, and Tilgath the Third. And Assyria, because
Return to Tilgath, sorry.
Back to Tilgath.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, it's hard to know sort of where some of these kingdoms were. It's in the modern day sort of Iraq, Syria.
Okay, yes.
Assyrian.
Assyrian.
Yeah.
Got it.
It wavered a lot of size. Sometimes it was a lot bigger, sometimes it was smaller. But these guys ruled from like 1000 to 700 BCE.
Okay.
They were all in a row.
So it's not that far back in the grand scheme of things.
BCE.
Right? BCE. Oh, okay.
Before Common Era.
Yep, you did say BCE, and I just didn't listen.
Yeah.
Got it. I'm there.
So during the credits, they called back to the SGC for help. In the gate room, we see the Predator brought back on a stretcher. Hammond is thinking what we're all thinking. What the fuck is that thing?
Yeah, I'm like, a new player is entered the game.
And at first, Hammond kind of guesses what I guess we were guessing too. Is that an Ashrak?
Yeah, because that's what we've seen before. We've seen like this bad guy thing. I mean, good callback by Hammond.
Because when you have no other reference, this is way more advanced than an Ashrak, though. And Sam assumes that the armor protects from energy-based weapons, which makes her really excited because it might be new technology she can play with.
Yeah. Never at a loss for taking advantage of the situation. Nope. I love that about her.
And pretty sure it was just like at first they're like, we thought it was a setup by Ramus to kill Tilgath. And that's still like at this point they're like, we don't really know what happened. That's just one Gould survived and one didn't. So we're gonna kind of take that for granted.
Sure.
But
we're just gonna not think about that part right now.
No,
there's way too many things.
Sam wants to call the Tok'ra for help figuring out this technology and figuring out the Predator.
I love it because in some ways it's like, oh, we need to call the Tok'ra, but also it's like, hey, this is real intense. Can I call my dad?
Basically, yeah.
Can I bring my dad in?
Can I
feel really good working with him. He's a smart dude, and I trust him.
Also, when in doubt, call your dad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just standard facts for
call
life.
your dad. That's very my favorite
murder. Call out. You're in a cult. Call your dad. And it doesn't take long for Jacob to arrive.
Right.
And any episode that we have both Jacob and Braytac is a good episode.
Oh, yes. Let's not even start with the Danielness that's about to Daniel.
Yeah, okay, let's because we have a little bit before the Daniel.
I'm going to pace myself.
So right now we're just excited over Jacob and Braytac together.
Yes, absolutely. These stories on their own. Thank God there's a two-part.
Guys, spoiler warning. Grace likes this episode.
I'm being real good here.
We're going to be good.
I'm staying focused. I'm in the moment.
I warned Grace about this episode. So, whatever this armor is, it seriously fucks with the MRI machine. Mm-hmm. Although, to be fairly honest, I'm surprised it could even fit into the MRI machine with that codpiece in the way.
Uh-huh.
So, do you remember that scene from Independence Day where they crack open the armor and the GUI? This is basically the Stargate version of that.
So my only qualms with this scene is like, where's Janet? Well, we're autopsying a body.
She was busy with other
Sam's like, yeah, I can do this. Look, I love Sam, and she's very smart and very talented, but I feel like when it comes to this type of stuff, there's an amount of finesse.
Maybe she was, isn't Cassandra college age? Maybe dropping her off of college?
Absolutely. I wonder what her reaction will be when she comes back, because she's like, Sam, you butchered. I could have gotten so much more out of this body if you'd let me. It's kind of like when the wrong person carves the Thanksgiving turkey. You're like, what the fuck did you do? It's Sam. Sam's excited. She's like, yep, pop his face open, pop the stuff up. Look at the googly eyes.
I made chicken Alfredo last night, and I was just me cutting the chicken breast. I'm like, please, person who knows butchery, do not come in here and look at what I just did to this chicken.
Yeah. It's more than anything. It's like the amount of finesse and study that goes into this. Let's not pretend, as much as Sam is capable and smart, let's not pretend that she is also a person who can do that job 100%.
When we finally get the helmet and the breathing system off, he looks basically a lot worse than Anakin did at the end of Return to the Jedi.
Put it back on. I don't want to look at this. Yeah, it was very gross.
Amazing effects work.
Uh-huh.
It's disgusting.
Uh-huh. Like, I'm a little bit retchy right now, just thinking of it.
So in the briefing room, we get an X-ray. It is a Gould, but the host is super weird. He's all out of whack. Basically, someone tried to genetically engineer this like perfect like athlete, but gave no concern about like living.
No. Not important. I feel like this is a theme that we know of. I just can't place it anywhere.
Yeah, the only way this host stays alive is because of the symbiote.
Right. It's like, look, we don't need you to live for a long time. We just need you to kill stuff.
We're not here for a long time. We're just here for a kill time.
Yeah, exactly.
And the armor just absorbs energy. So it doesn't matter how many zats or staff blast or anything hits it. It would just absorb all of it. And by the way, Teal'c, you did not take the Predator down.
Right.
It had a massive heart attack.
I love that. Okay. 2 things to discuss here. So let's start with one.
Yeah.
How brave for Sam to be like, you didn't actually take this thing down.
Just
okay, and then like hide. And then 2, she says pulmonary failure.
Yeah.
Which does not directly correlate to heart attack.
This is true.
So I did look it up because it bugged me.
Okay.
Which pulmonary failure, essentially respiratory failure, means your lungs fail, which leads to no oxygen traveling properly, which means to your other organs stop to function because they're not getting blood, could lead to a heart attack, but also a stroke.
Well, did she say pulmonary failure? Because to me, pulmonary failure is just his heart broke.
So pulmonary meaning lungs and failure.
Oh, I thought pulmonary was heart.
No, see, that's the thing. Pulmonary means lungs.
Oh.
And so every time I looked it up, it was like, do you mean respiratory failure? Because pulmonary failure is respiratory failure. Yeah. It means your lungs stop working.
He just stopped breathing a while back.
Yeah. And then his heart stopped. But that's just my little weird, like, that's what? And please, if someone knows things medical.
Maybe it was just another one of those things where we should have Janet there to clarify.
Yeah. So again, she's just like, I had a heart attack. Doesn't matter. But if anybody knows medicine way better than I do, because I'm sure you're all out there, please help me, because it's just in my craw. You know what I mean?
So in the lab, the Predator is laying on a table, and Jacob points out that the cells in this thing are less than 3 weeks old. It was grown in a lab.
It's Frankenstein's gold.
It's Frankenstein's gold. And while the Gould have always been looking for ways to perfect their hosts, like this was not a host that was meant for a good, like a full Gould.
Yeah.
A system lord Gould. This thing, it might be stronger than humans, but it is not superior. It's just... Yeah. It's basically, it's a clone army.
Yes.
It's a reaction to the uprising of Jaffa. It's a clone army they can control, and they need fewer of because they're stronger.
Which does seem like the natural progression for the people in power to create. Like, oh, my soldiers are rebelling. Let me make soldiers that can't rebel.
Especially, I don't know how at this point they're like, who would do that? Maybe Anubis?
Yeah, guys.
So interesting to note that Jacob points out that it wasn't alive when it was grown. It was given life after it matured.
Like Frankenstein's monster.
Like Frankenstein's monster. Because, by the way, people forget, Frankenstein is not the name of the monster.
That's true, yeah.
Frankenstein is the name of the
dude.
Evil dude.
The crazy scientist.
Not evil, but...
Mad. Anyways. I think mad is fair.
Well, to be fair, Frankenstein isn't the monster. Or is he?
Frankenstein is the monster.
Oh. So Selmac can tell
There's
the unique
lessons to be learned.
The unique energy in its cells are similar to the energy a sarcophagus would give off. But a sarcophagus is not powerful enough to animate non-living matter.
Interesting.
So
we must go back further.
Coincidentally, there's a legend, a device created by the ancients, discovered by the Gould, as designed to heal, but it's too powerful for human hosts, so it kind of just does more harm than good.
Yeah.
But if the Gould were able to reverse engineer that, well, they were able to reverse engineer that to create the first sarcophagus. Since where the sarcophagus technology came from is sort of this mythological device of the ancients, because again, the Gould just keep taking shit from the ancients and manipulating it.
Feels about appropriate.
So the Tok'ra have long searched for it, like a way to perfect the sarcophagus technology, because it's not perfect. We had an entire episode about the addictive tendencies of the sarcophagus,
which we'll be reminded of later.
We have a whole thing about has been alive too long from the sarcophagus. He's going.
It said, look, there is always too much of a good thing.
Yeah, and basically the Tok'ra wants to perfect that. They basically want to get rid of the side effects so everyone can actually benefit from this pure, actual good healing device. And if we find it, also, side benefit, we could find a way to counteract this life-giving energy and find a way to actually kill these predators.
Yeah, if we can reverse engineer the reverse engineering to reverse engineer some more things.
And the Gould who discovered it was Telchek.
Huh. That name sounds like a thing.
It does. So Daniel will get to in a moment, but there is a Mayan god of rain, Chak.
Okay.
Which is who he assumes Telchek is named after.
Okay.
He also had an axe that spewed lightning, like a famous hammer we know from other mythology. He strikes the clouds. He makes thunder and rain and lightning. The equivalent Aztec god is Tlaloc.
Let me see. Tlaloc. So the really cool thing
about
Tlaloc.
Okay.
The cool thing about the Nahuatl language, which is what the Aztecs spoke, and also Spanish, from my understanding of it, Mexican Spanish at least, is when you see a word, you pronounce every letter.
Okay.
So it's Tlalo.
Tlaloc.
Tlaloc. Yeah, you're there. So think of when you say Seattle, how you say both the T and the L even though they're touching. It's very similar.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah,
Tlaloc.
Yeah.
Okay. Like a lot of but to Chuck, like a lot of Mayan gods, there's 4 of them ish, sometimes more, but there's 4 main ones. It's like the Holy Trinity in Catholicism.
Sure.
It's so all of these Chucks, each cardinal direction had one. They all had a color associated with them, etc. And there's a ton of mythology surrounding farmers and rain deities, like there is in every culture, farmers and rain deities. Yeah. And they all sort of every Chuck had sort of a human like a human counterparts,
yes,
who were the rainmakers, and they had the communication link. And there's a lot of ritual and worship around the different rain deities.
It's like, to use D&D terms, they feel very like druidic.
Yeah,
in a sense.
Exactly. Yeah. And so Tlaloc,
that's very
gonna
close.
Get it. Was the Aztec god of water. He's an elemental force.
Got it.
And his symbol was a marigold, which I do know is very important in Mexican culture.
I mean, they signify a lot of stuff.
It
just happens that they're kind of everywhere, which makes it easy for them.
Exactly. Maybe that's why it became the symbol of everything. But
imagine if you see something all the time, you're like, there must be some reason this is
exactly
all the time.
And he's actually, from what I saw, he's sort of one of the most worshipped of the deities in Aztec culture.
And I would imagine, like, because it's the rainmaker,
the rain god.
Yeah, that's got to be one of the most, like, you probably need him a lot.
Exactly. It's why Poseidon's so big in Greek. Like,
got it. Yeah,
we need water.
Yeah, more water, please.
Yeah. So, interestingly enough, when the Spanish came in and colonized the area, you know, they were like evangelizing, they were converting everything. The worship of Tlaloc continued. And it may have continued because in the fervor to convert everyone, they tried to make links between the local gods,
right,
and the Christian God and the religion, but they may have made the links a little too strong in some places because the old gods just kind of stuck around.
There's a lot of interesting religion in Mexico that even me, who grew up Catholic, am very confused because I'm like, wait, you don't know this one?
Yeah,
because they're not like Catholic, that the same like Catholicism that came from
exactly.
Europe. So like La Virgen Guadalupe, who is not the Virgin Mary, but when I was little, I was like, that's not the same person. These are another people,
and that's kind of what happened. Is they connected them to sort of the local religions, and they originally kind of went, oh, this is a great idea. We're going to sort of bridge the gap in this one, but then they're like, oh shit, now you can't get rid of them.
That's not canon.
No, you're not going to forget them now?
No.
Oh, that's no good.
No, so we went back and we rewrote it so that it all makes sense. What's that called when you do that in comic books? We retconned it, and now that she's canon. We made her
now they just became more ingrained.
The original retconners.
And they're still around today. And so, you know, when I saw this figure, like this hair and feather dress, these googly eye, these fangs, and you see it, even I recognized it.
I'm gonna make a movie called Retconning Catholicism. I just really like it.
But that is Tlaloc.
Yeah. And you know what? Really fucking good. Yeah. Tlaloc, yeah.
And so it's still around a lot because he's really hard to get rid of, and he's still the rain god.
I'm gonna laugh if I'm saying it wrong this whole time, and I'm the complete jerk.
You're probably still more accurate than me.
Sorry, guys.
Also, you know, because we know the Aztecs and the Mayans were into it, there's a lot of human sacrifices to them.
This is a thing.
Including children. Different times, folks. Different strokes.
But you know, and in their eyes, it's like, what is the most precious thing I can give you? It wasn't
our
for
children.
A disregard of life.
No.
It's because this is the most precious thing that we can give.
Exactly. And it was the exact same thing, you know, in a lot of places back in the day. It was a Tuesday when they had sacrifices. It is because this is this is literally the most precious thing I have to give you to the god.
Right.
So please reign for us.
It's important for us to remember that.
Yeah.
Because our moral code is not the same moral code that they live by.
No.
And it was just what you did.
And so, and I read a bit, like, these children thought of it basically as an honor. It's the most amazing thing that I could do. Yeah. And they were like stoic, and they didn't have tears.
What it was.
And it was a thing.
I'm sure there was plenty who were scared and didn't want to, but ultimately they weren't sacrificed as a punishment.
No.
Is my understanding.
They got like awesome shit in the afterlife because, you know, this was
what you did.
He does have his own mountain. It's in the Sahara Nevada mountains. which has a sanctuary on top of it.
Cool.
And, you know, I'm not someone who knows Mayan and Aztec mythology a ton, but I really would like Gaiman to write a book on it like he did with
yeah, or if anyone can take it, and do it the way he did that, I would be fucking
because
all over
it's absolutely, you know, I feel like there's so much. We always pay attention to Greek mythology and Roman mythology, and there's a huge. And I've always been interested in Norse mythology, and there's kind of a resurgence I feel in the past couple of years of you know, Viking mythology and things. There's like an entire goddamn quarter of the earth.
Yeah, that was active up until like the 1500s.
And it like the mythology of it is crazy.
Yeah, it's a thing that there's this weird anxiety that I live with because I am Mexican and it is my culture and I don't know how to find it or where to study it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it gets lost and a lot of it gets really protected.
Yeah.
And so people don't want to share it, but the only way to keep it alive is to share it.
And it's so fascinating, you know, the stories and the interactions and the sort of the god that has multiple parts and all this. I'm like, someone please give me a really good book on it.
Yeah, it was stuff that when I was little too, we began to get that taught, but if you don't practice it and keep it in your mind, you lose it. At some point, I knew how to read the Aztec calendar.
Oh, that's cool.
And I could speak a couple of words, and I understood how their months worked and how the seasons worked and the backstory. But you know, I was 10 years old, and they give you a couple months to learn it, and then they're like, "Okay, we did our duty, and you're done."
I just
I would love to.
I just sort of love, and what seems like is the same way, and I know they're sort of structured differently and came about differently, but in the same way that the Greek and the Roman gods have these similarities, because the Roman gods are basically stolen from the Greek gods, but it seems like the Mayan and the Aztec gods,
they're kind of merged in the same way.
Yeah, they have
this in the same time.
Exactly. They have these corollaries, so I find it interesting. So
it would just be so cool to be able to know more.
But this whole thought Daniel had, back to Stargate,
back to the gate,
reminds him of something, and he runs out of the room into the lab, and he tells Jacob and his own lab. Yeah. And he tells Jacob and Sam that his grandfather, remember Nicholas Ballard, we met him, one of his early obsessions was the Fountain of Youth.
Yes. And
he claimed it was a piece of alien technology because of course he did.
AKA. Sorry. It was like Uncharted Grandpa's Legacy. Sorry.
Well, we already had Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. So, and which is alien technology on par with Ballard's thoughts, which also is on par with Daniel's thoughts.
Yeah.
And it was used by Mayan tribes around 900 years BCE. He traced its origin to chalk, who we just discussed.
Yeah.
So Jacob is like, well, the device was meant to heal ancients, like not to destroy humans, but it would destroy. Ancients are so much more.
Yeah.
That humans would have to have very limited exposure from a very distance away for it to not overwhelm them. Yeah. Because too much healing don't heal.
Yeah, too much healing hurt.
And if it's kept near a water source,
maybe the water would take the brunt of some of that heat.
Boom! Fountain of Youth!
We did it!
So, so Daniel continues book. Nick thought the temple that housed it was in Central America. Mm-hmm. He spent decades looking for it, but he came up empty. But look, here's a nice little drawing and notes and illustration. And Jacob's like, that's ancient gold.
That's a thing. I don't know a lot of things, but I know that this is
I don't know much, but I know that's good.
I just discovered that this pen has a flashlight. Sorry, guys. I got a new pen. It's got a flashlight on it. And then I think I can touch my screen with it.
Oh, my.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay. So the Fountain of Youth, briefly, very enduring myth. Anyone who drank for it, anyone who bathed in it would get healed, youth restored. It goes back to Herodotus. I said that one right?
That sounds right. Yeah.
Shoot, in the 5th century BCE. It really took off, though, as this concept in the Caribbean in the 16th century.
Yes.
You know, at the time of pirates is when this thing was around. It's been placed everywhere from Bimini to St. Augustine, Florida, famously, town founded by Ponce de Leon, who is famous for searching for it, to being in Jamaica, to being in basically pick an island in the Caribbean.
What if it's all of these and there's this like one like channel of like underground water source that all taps from the same original one in South America? That's all I'm done.
Yep.
Even though we know that water doesn't move this way.
It can.
I guess it can.
You have the force behind it.
It's just rushing north.
I mean, how do you think the geysers happen?
That's true.
Yeah.
We should all jump into geysers, except don't do that.
Don't jump into geysers. But anyways, this place has Fountain of Youth's been placed in so many different locations that what place hasn't been the source of the Fountain of Youth mythology? Yeah. So they go to Hammond's office. It's here. It's in southern Honduras. I'm not 100% sure, but pretty damn sure enough to convince Hammond. And also that Anubis was the one who created the Predator, which, I mean,
guys. We should have been like, let me give you 3 guesses.
Yeah.
Anubis. And
Anubis. And Anubis.
Yeah.
He's the one who started a war with Telchek to find the device. And once he won and beat Telchek, he couldn't find the device anywhere. And this was all before he ascended. And once he ascended, it didn't really matter anything.
He's just a real busy dude.
He's really...
He's got a lot on his plate. No wonder he's so stressed and angry.
I know. He just stole the knowledge from the ancients once he ascended.
You know what, Anubis? Take a break. Watch a little bit of British Bake Off. I always call it British Bake Off, but it's officially the British baking show, right? Just relax.
Exactly.
Watch a couple bakes.
So, regardless of all of this Anubis stuff, the good news is that the original device is most likely here on Earth still. And if it is, the Tok'ra and Sam would really like to get their hands on it.
Of course they would.
Because
they all salivate.
Drool.
Yeah.
Because they could reverse engineer a weapon to work on the Predators.
Yeah.
Oh, also, healing is good.
Oh yeah, totally. That's what we meant.
But also destruction of the Predators.
Yeah. Is there a sun I can harness anywhere to be part of this? Because then I'd be done. I'd be set.
And Hammond tells Daniel to take Dr. Lee and go ahead. Dr. Lee, the doctor of something that we're not quite sure of.
I feel like Dr. Lee was like, do I have to?
He probably was. But again, Dr. Lee is the doctor of whatever the episode needs him to be a doctor of.
Yeah. We'll talk more in the next scene. But that poor guy.
Are you going to be able to speak the next scene?
I'm going to do my best.
So the next time we see Daniel, he is transformed into Nathan Drake.
And then Grace lost her mind.
Grace lost her shit.
So look.
Okay.
Sometimes when you put people in a different setting, like a hot, sweaty, jungle-ish space, they either look miserable.
But don't forget the 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah, they either look miserable like Dr. Lee, probably slathered in sunscreen, big hat, unhappy, hot,
still looks good though.
Still looks good. But some people either
go
there or they thrive. Or they thrive and they let the 5 o'clock shadow come in and they just go, I'm gonna be smelly and it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Rub a little dirt in there.
Yeah.
And then pull a Daniel. Which is actually a Nathan Drake.
Yes.
Which now I want to see a game with both of those in it.
That'd be kind of amazing.
Because here's the thing, Nathan Drake is just a nerd who knows how to use guns.
So like Daniel.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, though. Even better than, nerd who can just kill shit at will.
Well, Daniel's on his way.
Yeah.
He's on his way.
Daniel may have a bit more of a moral code. Because Nathan Drake's like, you're in the way of what I need, must kill. I mean, otherwise you wouldn't have a game.
Exactly.
But the amount of knowledge between the two I would just sit there and watch all day. I wouldn't be able to play it. Someone would have to play it because I just want to watch. It's good times.
And I love again, as you're pointing out, the difference in how they travel.
Yeah.
I would like to be traveling with Daniel. Because if their guide doesn't show up, we're just going to sit here, have a few beers, and make a few friends.
Yeah, we'll just chill out. That girl's pretty. Let's go talk to her.
The one drunk girl dancing in the back.
Where it's like, tone it down extra.
Listen, she's making her money.
Yeah.
Okay?
Do what you gotta do.
A girl's got to do what a girl's got to do.
Because she's just randomly stood up at a table and is dancing. Which I guess, if you're on, I've never been on a, vacation that's like a tropical vacation, but that's probably what people do.
I mean, I don't have to be on vacation to just stand up and dance. You've seen it happen before.
Fair.
Their guide quickly shows up.
Yeah.
And sorry, I'm distracted by the dog giving me the cutest look in the entire world. I'm so sorry. She's like, let me give you full puppy eyes.
Yeah.
Okay, so their guide quickly shows up. His day job is working here at his uncle's cantina.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a small thing, but I appreciate the fact that they didn't subtitle any of this.
Oh, yeah, where he was just talking to his uncle?
Well, talking to his uncle and just between him and Daniel.
Oh, yes. Let me tell you that I was in such shock and just admiring it that I can't remember what he said.
Because Daniel wasn't hot enough. Then he started speaking Spanish.
With a decent accent.
Yeah.
With a decent accent on top of it. I was like, I can't handle this.
Oh, and he doesn't even have his shirt off yet.
Oh my gosh. And let me tell you one thing that is not Daniel related in the scene that I really appreciated.
Yeah.
At the time, I don't know how regional this was, but the word Simon was very slang. It's like, so si means yes, but mon just was like Simon, like, yeah, man.
Oh, okay.
And so the fact that he says Simon just felt really comfortable to me.
That's
very
nice.
familiar.
That's cool.
Yeah, a little bit of slang in there.
That's cool. So they want to go see some temples. Daniel's like, no, we want to see one specific temple.
Yeah.
And
yeah, poor Rogelio has no idea what he got himself into.
Yeah, what is it again?
Rogelio, his name?
Rogelio.
Yeah.
Okay. He totally doesn't feel like he's just straight from Indiana Jones film. Roger. I'm gonna call him Roger.
Yeah.
Just to not butcher his name through this entire thing. Again, he doesn't feel like an Indiana Jones extra in any way, shape, or form.
No.
I'm just gonna call him Raj, because that's at least shorting it.
Yeah.
That's at least not changing his name to English. It's just shorting it.
That's like what Jack would do.
Exactly.
He would call him Raj.
Okay. So Raj is like, yeah, let's not go to the place that you're pointing at because there's no temple there. I take all the tourists up north.
Yeah, he thinks he's just dealing with two nerdy tourist guys. It's like, no, you don't want it. You don't want to go down there.
We'll go up here. There's lots of ruins. We'll get some photo ops.
Yeah.
My uncle's truck. It'll be fine.
It'll be fun times.
Daniel is now playing games. Mm-hmm. We either go here to the south or we find someone else. End of story.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Well, we'll take my cousin's truck, but we have to, fill it with gas.
Weird how that's a thing.
Bill pulls out this wad of bills in the most don't ever fucking do that when you're traveling way ever.
No. This is how you die. No.
Why do you think you're fucking kidnapped at the end of the thing? Yeah. Because the guy sitting behind you is eyeing this fucking wad of money.
Look at that giant wad of money.
How did Daniel not go, can you please just put like a 20 in your pocket?
You know why? Because Daniel doesn't understand money. He's so into everything else that he just forgot. He lived off planet long enough to barter and do things and be so focused on interacting with people that he forgot that money's a thing.
I also love how Bill's like, can I get a receipt for that money?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So back in the briefing room, everyone's like, minus Jack, is figuring out the rest of this issue. Look, Anubis is killing off Mono Gould, absorbing the Jaffa. It's happened to 3 Gould so far. Mm-hmm. So this is bad, because even if we can find the device that Daniel's looking for, that's no guarantee we can stop the Predator.
Yep.
So at this point, they're like, I'm assuming there's more than one. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming that wasn't the only one.
There's probably like 3.
We have to interrogate one, which means we have to capture it alive.
And Sam's like, yes, please. This is fun.
So Sam,
now can I harness the sun's power?
Sam has the Predator armor in her lab, and she can't. It's resistant to armor-piercing weapons, and it can absorb all the energy, but it's sort of made in something very similar to Kevlar. So a very fine-tipped tritium dart should work perfectly.
Ta-da! She's figured it out.
So Sam and Jack are on a walk and talk. Since Ramus is still alive, he's most likely the next target. Mm-hmm. So the plan is going to go to his planet, sit and wait for the Predator to come through, trap it in his shield, hit it with trinks, easy peasy, come home by lunch.
He's like a giant bear in the woods.
Yeah. Jack has some notes. Back in Honduras, they reached this amazing waterfall.
Yes, because it couldn't be Daniel without being Daniel. He had to go and mess up his look with the do-rag.
Oh, but the action do-rag!
Yeah, it is the action do-rag, but he did have to remind us that he does love a good do-rag.
He does. They're where the map says they are, but there's nothing. The legend says the nearby water flows towards it. There's a whole bunch of very reasons why the water would lead them here. Mm-hmm. Raj is like, no one fucking listened to me. There's no temple here. I told you there's no temple here. We have tramped through this jungle for nothing. Mm-hmm. And Daniel ignores him.
Yeah.
And they spread out, start looking for anything. And I love when they don't move. Daniel's like, go.
Yeah. Time to go do the things I'm telling you to do.
And Lee quickly finds something by falling into it.
Well, of course. I mean, what better way to find a pit trap than to just fall into it?
But I love there's just Daniel in the foreground. He just like, vroom.
Yeah. That's when you check for traps.
They did not check for traps. So Braytac and some rebels are on Ramus's planet with SG-1, SG-3, I think SG-12. There's a whole shit ton of SGC people there.
It's a cavalcade of people. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm sticking with it.
It's a gaggle of people. And Adal, who is whether he's an undercover, but he's a rebel Jaffa in the ranks of Ramus's army. He's going to find a way for them to stay undetected. Like, I'm going to distract people over here. And
do things over there.
Sam goes sets a per plan, and then Jack's like, hey, Reynolds of SG-3, can you go plant C4 and claymores everywhere? Because plan A never fucking works.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's go set up a plan B and a plan C and a plan D and a plan E, and then like a retreat plan.
And in the jungle, Daniel joins Lee down in the temple to look around. Raj will stay up top with the radio. Daniel can already tell this is early Mayan stonework at least, so they're in the right place. On the planet, everyone's just waiting.
And waiting and waiting and waiting.
Jack wants to start a pool to pass time.
Sure, yeah.
Back in the temple, the crammed hallways are starting to get to Bill and Daniel, just both of them. Why so small? Yeah. I would have noped out of this, by the way.
Because of the tiny tunnels?
Because of the tiny tunnels.
Yeah.
We visited the Hoover Dam and went on the dam tour. And first of all, my father...
The dam joke.
His life was to come up with a damn joke that the tour guide had not heard of yet.
That's like the dad joke.
Mecca.
Yeah. The echelon of all dad jokes.
Yeah. But when we're like down,
this is what they live for.
It is. When we're down like in the center of it, like walking down these hallways, like I literally, it's the only time I've ever experienced it. I started to feel pressure on my chest.
Oh, weird.
And then we're walking down this long hallway because you're walking, perpendicular to the thing, and you go and there's a little window down at the far side where you can look down at the thing, and the fresh air was coming in from that, and I'm like, I need to stay here by the window for a second.
Yeah.
It's the only place, and it's not claustrophobic if you're down in there. The tunnels are sizable.
Yeah.
But it was the sheer concept of having that much mass and concrete pressing, like I literally started feeling that on my chest.
Because you're pretty deep in it, right?
You're really deep in it. They're talking about how the concrete, the center, technically hasn't cured yet. I'm like, I need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I can see that.
Which is why down here, and it's not necessarily, shall we say, the modern architecture of the Hoover Dam.
You know what's weird is, of all the things that would get me, is I would be like, there's no ladder to get out. That if you hung a ladder where Raj is hanging out, I'd be fine.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but that's the one thing that freaks me out.
It's the same. I can't go far into caves.
It's like speaking of this part of the world, the cenotes, which are the holes that you bend down. You see the big giant lakes.
Yeah.
It's not the being down under in the lakes. It's like, how the fuck do you get up?
Yeah.
It's how do you get up part.
Because I do not have the upper body strength to climb the rope.
It's not happening. It's not happening. look, you stick a ladder or a stairwell up,
yeah,
I'm fine.
That's great.
Yeah, but just to drop down a hole, but nope. No, thank you.
Anyways, they reach this dead end of a large chamber with it's all of these squares. It looks like fucking movie The Cube.
Yeah.
But there's no writing, there's no gifts, there's nothing. And Lee's like, isn't there always writing?
Yeah, that's the part of the adventure in the dungeon where you start touching shit.
And you check for traps.
You start checking for traps. You start touching shit.
There has been so many dungeons that we're in where you like run your hand on every wall.
Yeah, but also very carefully because otherwise you die.
Well, it's after you check for traps.
Sure.
And then just you're looking for secret holes.
Yeah. Dirty.
Secret holes. On the planet SG3 sends word over the radio, the Predator's here.
Ta-da!
This is it. Once it gets in the range, Sam initiates the force field. Jack hits it with 2 tranks, which don't stop him in the slightest.
None fucks. He gives none. Like, what is that, a mosquito? What's happening?
And then they could hit him with a 3rd dart, but that could kill him, and they want him alive.
Okay, the first 2 have not done anything. I don't think being worried about killing him is a thing.
And at which point, he just kind of walks through the force field like it's not there.
Yeah.
So instead, everyone opens fire with everything they have. Nothing makes him pause.
No, he's just going.
He fires at the Chiffon at SG-12. Jack blows some C4. He just walks out of it Terminator style through the smoke.
Yeah. So this part, now that in our D&D group, which we shared with the video stream.
with the video stream.
Now that we've experienced our first TPK in D&D, our first total party kill, we've learned that sometimes you have to retreat.
Yes.
And so we learned here that Jack
has played D&D before.
Well, he's now I'm going to pull him from my school stuff.
Yes.
He's an in extremis leader, meaning that he knows how to lead when lives are on the line.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to fucking pull back.
Exactly.
Really interesting stuff. Really well done. Just a thought that doesn't occur to some of us.
No, because they build a second round of C4. He doesn't even notice it.
Yeah.
He walks by Braytek and Teal'c and the rest of them like as if they not even noticing them.
Yeah.
So ships fly overhead. They're going to be made soon. So Jack calls that they're boarding the mission. They are gathering their wounded and heading home, but it's too late.
Yeah.
SG3 can't even hold the gate right now. There's so many unfriendly Jaffa swarming around them. So he goes, Braytek, what do we do?
Another great in extremis leader, Braytek says, only option is to stay alive.
Yeah, we surrender because there's a chance that Adele and his men can free us later. And Jack is not happy, but he understands it's kind of their only option right now.
Yeah, either that or we go out fighting and we call it here.
Yeah.
I just say goodbye to your ass.
So back in the chamber in the temple, Daniel gets an idea, and water flows towards it. So he takes Lee's canteen, not his canteen, of course.
No, and I look, how fucking enormous is this canteen? Is this like a gallon-sized canteen?
Well, Bill goes through a lot of water.
That's fair.
He's dehydrated.
But it's like, dude, you're carrying that through the jungle. That's heavy.
And he pours it onto the ground. Some serious Indiana Jones shit, because at some point you can see it stop flowing and it falls down.
It's the in-game puzzles.
There's something underneath them.
These are the best part of the Uncharted games for me, is the puzzles. That's where you're like, why am I in this room?
So
how do I get through this room?
We were going to play, because we, of course, have Xbox. We've not given Uncharted. We have Lara Croft instead. And the idea was, because I enjoy puzzles in my games. Mm-hmm. So the idea is that I do the puzzles, and then someone else does the shooty. Let's just say that didn't happen. Right. Because I would just come home from work.
I know this life.
And there would be no puzzles.
I finished it all. I did it because I couldn't stop playing.
Yeah.
I know that life.
So I haven't played them before.
Yeah.
Because I'm not good at the shooty.
You know what you do? Is you watch the playthroughs, and then you yell at the screen when they get to the puzzle, because you know what they need to do. If there was a way to play where you can just play it on really easy mode.
True, I could.
Because I don't care for the shooty parts either.
I'm just not good at the shooty.
I'm okay at the stealth parts, but those parts just make me so damn nervous.
This is, again, I've said this before, this is why my favorite game is Portal. It's just cut right to the puzzles, guys.
Yeah, just give me more puzzle action.
Give me a Indiana Jones style game where there's like maybe two things, exactly like Indiana Jones. There's like two things of maybe having to fire a gun at someone when they have a whip.
Or run from people or
and
something.
run from people, and it's just all figuring out puzzles.
Gosh, that would be, Can they make like a Cheaters Uncharted for me where all I'm doing is the puzzles?
Added more puzzles.
Make the rest cutscenes.
Like you can make having to find this stuff a lot harder.
Yes.
You actually have to like figure out a map, and it's basically just a partial map in the giant jungle, and you actually have to like figure out where it is. I'm fine with all that.
Yeah.
Just like a true adventure
sometimes the amount of shooting that has to happen, I'm like, Jesus, I'm exhausted. Just
die already.
Yeah.
Okay. Back in the temple.
Uh-huh.
Sorry. In Gould prison. Skipped the whole Gould prison scene.
Right.
Reynolds was hit. He says he's fine.
Mm.
No one else is really sure about that. Reynolds isn't even sure about that. He's putting on a face. But Ramus shows up, and Jack handles it.
Oh, sure.
With typical Jack charm and a possible Vulcan salute.
Why not?
He looks like he's trying to live long and prosper.
He just can't seem to make his fingers do it.
So, look, we know how this looks. We just want to make clear, we didn't come here to kill you.
Yeah.
True, honest. Fun part is, we actually come here to save your ass.
Ta-da.
Asses. Assi. Assies.
Yeah.
There's a predator who wants to kill you.
And I feel like if I'm the Jaffa, I'm like a fucking likely story, dude.
We're here to kill that guy.
Not you
So if you let us go, we'll, save the world.
Before
and
bedtime.
You're not buying any of this.
No, I'm just gonna stop.
And Pretty Boy just scowls and leaves.
Mm.
So back at the temple, Bill and Daniel are just getting this heavy motherfucking stone up. Yeah. It's super big, very heavy. And there's a tesseract there.
Well, it's always under like some weird, crazy stone. Of course there is.
It's a non-activated tesseract. And Daniel has no idea what that writing says. And Lee goes to grab it, but Daniel's like, did you not see the first Indiana Jones?
Yeah. Or the episode where I got addicted to sarcophagus.
Or anything having to do with the temple.
Uh-huh.
They don't want to accidentally activate it because that could be bad. So instead they touch it.
Yeah. Just touch it with your fingertips. Guys, no.
No. You have two fucking shims right there.
Yeah.
Each grab a goddamn wooden shim and just pick it up that way.
Or even, like, I don't think this would work, but even, like, fucking take off your jacket and wrap it in, or
you're going to take your shirt off in the scene anyway,
we know
Daniel.
This is going to happen.
To be fair, my D&D character learned that it doesn't really matter if you just have a piece of cloth between your hand and they magical
you're still
evil
gonna get
possessed. I'm still going to get possessed.
But you're at least fucking trying.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not good times.
And so they pick it up by touching it. And the stone slams down. The place starts to shake.
This is the part where I did yell at them for not doing the Indiana Jones and dropping a bag of sand.
Yeah.
Where they had just had that.
Yep.
Guys, that's how puzzles work.
By the way, this wall of water that hits them, like,
yeah.
You know that was filmed that way. It's just an entire fucking wall of water.
Yeah. Yeah. That's scary. Even when it's not real, that's scary.
You can only imagine what that was like to shoot. And water comes for everyone else. And Raj is like, guys... Can you, this doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
Back at murder prison, Braytac points out that Reynolds is getting worse. We're like, thanks, Captain Obvious.
Yeah, we're pretty aware of that one.
Jack's like, your friends can show up whenever they want. and Braytac's like, well, we should consider they may not come.
I mean, I don't know that they're coming. I just thought they might.
Jack's like, what?
It's like, why did you say this earlier? Yeah.
He goes, well, we're still alive at least. Jack's like, what?
Look, yeah, Braytac's just trying to extend them like from 1 minute to the next. He's one step ahead of that. What's the song?
One step ahead of the bread line.
Thank you. He's one step ahead of the bread line.
And they toss around the term super soldier for the Predator.
I do like Sam because it's Sam's idea, and Jack's like, huh? It's like feeling it around.
I still like Predator.
Yeah.
So odds are. It's only after Ramus, and once that's dead, they're just gonna go home and not kill anyone else.
Huh.
So Jack tries chatting up the guard outside the cell. It does not go well.
No.
So Jack's like, hey, big guns, Teal, come here.
Yeah.
You flex your master is a false god shit on him.
Yeah, do the things that you do.
That doesn't work either, because the guard knows of these Shulva, and he knows who the Tari are, and they're here to kill his master.
Which, incidentally, O'Neill of the Tari and the Assassins is a really cool name for a band.
It would be. And Jack, I do like how he's like, well, if we came here to kill him, who's up there killing him right now? As you can hear the battle sounds.
Duh.
So back in the jungle, Raj watches in a bit of horror as the shaft fills up with water, with no sign of Daniel and Lee, when suddenly the artifact breaks through the water. Quickly followed by Daniel and Lee. They athletically pull themselves out.
I'm very impressed by Dr. Lee. I really am.
Yeah.
It just goes to show that just because you look a certain side doesn't mean you're not working out.
He's, just because you got a snack pack doesn't mean you have a six pack as well.
There you go. Yeah. Because, of course, Daniel's going to pull himself up. No problem. With a little bit of bravado as he does it. But Dr. Lee's just as capable.
Listen, Daniel's been working hard on those guns.
Yeah. He's got a lot of what they call show muscles. Mm-hmm. Whereas Dr. Lee's like, I just got the muscles that I need to exist.
So once they get out, they sort of put their hands up, and Raj is like, well, I'm not going to rob you. Mm-hmm. And they're like, yeah, but the guys behind you probably are.
You should have been a better lookout.
In Murder Prison, all the battle sounds are going on up top, and they still are trying to convince this Jaffa mentally poke this guard. And, all the lines he throws out, my master's a god, he's invincible. The look on his face says otherwise. He kind of knows that Ramus would sacrifice all of the Jaffa to survive.
Like I think they all kind of know a little bit in the back of their head. A lot of it is just like, well, this is where the power is, though, and I don't really. Yeah. I'm scared of the other.
I'd rather be living.
Yeah.
Living.
Rather
be living. And then he goes running when he hears enough stuff. And Jack's like, shouldn't it be getting easier to convince these guys?
Right. You would think by now that the word would have gotten out.
Yeah. So the guard comes back at some point. Ramus is dead, and he opens the door, gives Teal'c a Zek gun, and they ski-daddle their way out of there. Yeah. So Daniel, Lee, and Raj are walking blindfolded, bound through the jungle.
Not good times.
Daniel's trying to convince them that, look, we're just archaeologists. We aren't worth anything. Raphael, we learned his name is, reminds him that everyone is worth something to everyone.
Mm-hmm. Which is not wrong.
It's not wrong.
I mean, it's a good attempt by Daniel.
Yeah. Lee stumbles.
But the problem is you spoke with an accent that's either American or Canadian.
Yeah.
So you're worth something.
Exactly.
Yep.
You're worth a hell of a lot more than they get down there.
Yep.
So Raj takes the opportunity to pull off his blindfolded run, which is not the best choice on his side.
No.
He's quickly shot in the back.
Yeah. Poor Rogelio. Like,
I know.
It was nice knowing you, kid, but fear is never a great decision maker.
And let's be honest, he was the most expendable out of those three.
Yep, because he's the local guy. He's not worth any money.
No. And Raphael is now, well, you two will stay on the path now.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Yeah. It's very calculated. It's cold, but he's like, that one's not worth anything anyway. I'll kill that one, scare the shit out of these two, and they'll do what I want.
And we're not going to talk about Daniel's arms.
We're going to do our best to be professional adults about this and not salivate.
Nope.
And I will only do the salivating while we watch.
Yeah. I mean, thank you, costume department. On the planet, as the SCC crew walks through the temple to get out of here, there's a lot of dead bodies.
Oh, yeah.
And Sam thinks she has an idea to capture the stormtrooper.
Because Sam has a one-track fucking mind.
She does.
Never mind that everyone's dying. No. Never mind.
We're going to capture the damn Predator.
You sent me here to capture the Predator, and I am going to continue, even while my life is in mortal peril.
Predator. You know how the Predator has a one-track mind on his mission? So
don't fuck with Sam.
So it runs back to the Stargate, the Predator, and a cargo ship flies down, rings up the thing right into the sealed cargo hold, and it's pounding captured beast. And we get our Indeed from Teal'c, who is piloting.
It's a great approach.
So in the jungle, They arrive at the rebel camp.
I want to talk about for a quick second how they set the setting, and it's really weird how in South America you have the same trees as you do in the Northwest,
with a couple extra like palms thrown in
every
front
now
of
and then, but it's like an entire mountainside of like pine trees. I love that part.
And some disgusting soup thing.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know what the fuck that was. And that's the other thing too, is like there's a couple of different instances where I want to yell at the people at the props and be like, guys, it's hot in South America. Hot. One, they're not eating soup. Two, they're not going to give shits about having blankets. No.
It's not even cold at night.
No.
It's just tolerable at night.
Yeah. So telling them they don't get a blanket, anyway, I'm bad.
To be fair, I took it as a blanket to sleep on top of.
Fair.
As something between the ground because you saw the giant hissing cockroaches.
That's fair.
I took it as something between to sleep on the under.
That's fair. We'll call it that.
The place is, let's just say, not a 5-star hotel.
No, you're definitely roughing it.
They remove Daniel and Lee's blindfolds, throw him into a small shack. Neither have their glasses anymore. I'm sure Bill actually needs his.
Yeah, he's like, dude, I can't see. And Daniel's like, what are you talking about? People use glasses to see?
And Daniel again reiterates that no one will pay for them. They aren't worth anything. And that's a real bummer, Raphael says, because if no one pays, then they die.
Look, you're not getting out of this unless it's through brute force.
Yeah. So back at the SGC, Sam and Hammond walk and talk. They vented the atmosphere in the cargo bay once they had the Predator, so it took like 10 minutes for this thing to pass out.
Yeah, Jesus.
All I can say is, you've seen what this one of these things can do.
Yeah.
Why the fuck did you bring it back to the SGC?
Yeah, let's not bring it to our base.
Isn't that what the Alpha site is basically for? You
want to quarantine shit like this.
Yeah. You don't fucking bring it back to the base.
Yep. Agreed.
So when it's awake, it's metal banded to the wall without its armor. Yeah. And it's disgusting.
It's gross.
Beautiful props department. Like mad props to the props department.
Teeth and goo and jello flesh.
And I know the poor guy inside can't see a damn thing and has a hard time breathing too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's basically a real life horrible Skeletor.
It's just gross.
Yeah. Everyone
It's like if phlegm came to life. That's what it looks like. Live phlegm.
Everyone's watching from the observation room except for Braytek and Teal'c, who are in with it. And it does not take long before it admits that it serves Anubis.
No. That's an easy one. Yeah.
Teal'c asks how it's created, but it's like, I don't know answer.
I don't understand concepts.
No.
Like, it's like if your dog could talk and you were like, quick, what's the meaning of life? And it's like, eat bacon. Yeah.
Hammond is basically as sure as we are that that's all they're going to get out of this thing.
Yeah.
Sam points out that it has lower than normal brain waves from both the snake and the host. And Jacob points out that also Gould are really good at brainwashing. Like, there's nothing this thing can tell us.
Right.
And Jacob doesn't have an idea, though, of how to get something out of them.
Yeah.
So Jack spots Hammond in the hallway. Apparently, Daniel is 6 hours overdue, which is late even for Daniel. The Honduran government says that they're looking into it. They couldn't find anyone at their last known location. Back in the lab, they use the memory recall, the Toker memory recall device, and they switch it to turn thoughts from the Predator into images, similar to what Lucas Wallencheck did in Sequest to turn the holographic display so that you could translate what Darwin was thinking into images. And it ended up saving the day at the end of the episode.
Good job, Sequest. Way to go, Jonathan Brandon. We miss you.
I love Sequest so much, guys. My favorite scenes revolve around Lucas and Darwin together.
That makes sense.
So back at the camp, they get a star chart.
Yeah.
They ask where.
I love that it's not sophisticated enough to understand how it was made, but it can like
mentally show you a star chart.
Entire star chart. Yikes!
It makes total sense. I would more buy that it would be able to mentally display a gate address.
Right.
Because it has to know how to dial back home. I would more buy that than a complete star chart in this guy's brain.
Agreed. And also the grossest part of that scene is having to stick the memory chip in there. Ugh. Okay, done.
So back at the camp, Raphael brings in some water, sits down, cuts their bindings. He's going to ask some questions. If he believes them, then they get some food and water, maybe a blanket to sleep on top of. If he doesn't, and he does not currently believe the archaeological lie, that's not lie, the line that they're archaeologists. If he doesn't believe them, things are going to get much worse.
Yeah.
I believe him.
Bad guy is bad guy.
So maybe he only kills one of them, and he gets the U.S. government's attention.
Yeah.
The question is, which one dies?
Here's the thing is, if they kill someone, they kill Daniel.
They're going to kill Daniel because Lee is intimidated by this. Daniel's
and
like,
they can
fuck all of you.
I love this. When Daniel finally talks, well, you're probably going to get there, so I'll wait.
Well, it's just, Daniel starts playing their game.
Yeah, Daniel channels his inner Clint Eastwood.
He does.
Like squinty-eyed and everything.
Well, he's looking into the sun without his glasses.
He's like squinty-eyed, gravelly voice. And he's like, do you feel lucky, punk? Or whatever. But that's what he's channeling here. He's like, I ain't scared of nothing.
He goes, listen, I'm gonna tell you the truth now. Threatening us is a big mistake. Because some very powerful people are gonna come. And you don't want them to. And letting us go now, it'll save you some trouble.
Yeah.
And Raphael's like,
Bring it.
Yeah. I'm not going to hesitate to kill either of you, both of you. I don't care.
Yeah.
I will make an example to the U.S. government. And I've heard that line from people many times about how my friends are going to come save me. Fuck both of you.
Yeah. But also, he doesn't know who his friends are.
He does not.
He doesn't know that there's a Sam who can harness a sun.
No.
And then eat your face with it. If she wanted to.
What?
I don't know. It just felt like the right thing to say.
Also,
metaphorically.
This half of the episode, now, again, if I did not know that this was Stargate, and I only saw sort of this half of the episode, I would not be surprised to see a MacGyver come rescue him, because this does feel like the first half of a MacGyver episode.
If I didn't know this was a two-parter, in my brain, the rescue mission comes on a fucking gold ship.
Yeah, like the cargo ship.
They come on the fucking cargo ship, and the guys are like, oh shit, what are we gonna see? And then like
just ring them up.
And then Selmac's like, mind erase. I don't know that he can, but that's what he does in my brain.
X2 cargo shipia.
Yikes.
So in the briefing room, in the darkened briefing room, they just figured out what planet the Predators from. The Toker call it Tartarus, which I will cover next episode.
Oh, I know that word.
And the Toker are trying to assess the defenses now, and Hammond comes from his office and he has some bad news.
Yeah.
Daniel and Lee have been kidnapped, most likely taken across the border into Nicaragua, and we don't know where they are.
So, yeah.
And I'm like, please, you're telling me you don't have a tracker in Daniel?
There must be.
I'm like, I know you have a microchip in all of SG1.
Maybe he just means we haven't been able to triangulate where, because it is the early 2000s.
It is.
He's like, the Bluetooth is acting up. It's getting a little crazy, because I think that's when Bluetooth started being around.
Yeah.
And so he's
I don't remember. Bluetooth's
we're just
always
trying
existed.
to get the signal off the tracker. We have not found it yet. I mean, if I had that type of job, I'd be like, yeah, put a fucking tracker on me.
Yeah.
If I don't move for like 3 days, come get me.
Exactly.
Even if it's just my body at that point. Jesus.
Yeah, because at that point, even you don't know what's gonna fucking capture you in another planet.
Exactly. Just come get it.
Come get me. It's like they have the new thing on the new Apple Watches where if you fall and then you don't move for like 10 minutes, they automatically send like a life alert. Like they call 911. And I'm like, basically that for just give everyone Apple Watches.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. They did this tracking so they can tell like if when you fall, like how your wrist would go when you fall. And so if you fall and then
I was gonna say I don't want it to go off while I'm like laying watching Netflix for 12 hours.
It can tell when it falls it makes an impact.
I would love to wear my watch just be like, get off. You fucking lazy ass.
I don't need Netflix to ask, are you still watching?
No.
I need my watch to go, everyone, I still have that every time it goes, you should stand up.
It's like, you should eat a dick.
Yeah. I have told Siri that before.
Yeah.
Little vibe go, you should stand up. And I'm just like, you should fuck off with yourself.
Yeah,
I'm going to sit here.
A little bit, just leave me alone, okay? I'm having a really tough time today. I'm going to lay here.
I'm drinking my wine straight from the bottle.
And I'm watching the Great British Bake Off.
To be fair, last time I did that, it was not even full wine. It was just like the cheap raspberry flavored sparkling spumante.
Oh, I considered,
but
that's the kind of day I'd had. I considered doing that yesterday.
It was everything I wanted it to be, though.
Of course, yeah.
It was everything, and it was $5.
I had one of those where I was like, do I want to buy those cheap $5 mudslide things? Maybe I want to buy those.
See, those ones I tend to.
Feel sick after.
And that's why if I'm gonna go cheap, like a cheap bottle of alcohol like that, I tend to go for just the cheap sparkling wine.
Smart. Because
it's like the weird sparkling sangria shit or something.
Yeah.
I know this is not quality. I'm not drinking this for quality.
Yeah, we're just drinking this to get the job done.
And I don't necessarily want it to get me drunk. I just want to drink
a bubbly
something bubbly that has some alcohol straight from the bottle.
Ta-da!
Done! Okay.
The end.
Shocker. Next week, Evolution Part 2.
Yeah.
Would you like to wait to put this on your list? Are you just going to go ahead and preemptively?
Well, I'm pretty sure that this is just going to stay at number 1. So why not? Let's just put it there.
Are you cutting enemy mine off is the question?
I think I'm going to have to. I have to do a quick remembering of what enemy mine is. But I think I'm very
that's the Unas episode.
Oh, yeah. It's a good one, but yeah, I think it's going to have to.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this because I do really enjoy this. I'm going to put this as number 2.
Oh, okay.
It does go above Fall and Homecoming to me for me. But it doesn't get above Fragile Balance yet.
That makes sense. Fragile Balance is a Nixie episode.
And we're up to 30 and a half indeeds.
Holy moly.
I know. And I didn't see a DeLuise cameo in this.
I did not either.
And I watched the commentary that had Peter DeLuise, and he didn't go ham back there in the background. So I'm just assuming maybe it's in Part 2.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember it off the top of my head.
It's good times. Oh, by the way, at this point, I saw someone on Facebook gave us a heads up. Yes. Thank you. I noticed there was an issue on our audio for last week. At this point in time, if it is fixable by me, it's been fixed.
Okay.
So I apologize.
I did not know this.
Yeah. If it's what I suspect it is, it's an easy enough fix. I just have to get in there.
Gotcha. Cool. Alrighty. We will see you
with more Uncharted Daniel.
I just spent an entire weekend filling out wedding invitations. So I'm in the addressing thing. So next week, pod cards for September will be out.
Yeah.
They are designed. We just have to get them printed, and I will address all of them.
Done and done. As always, guys, you know where to find us. You can find us on Twitter at Terra Podcast.
Facebook at theresnoplaceliketerra.
You can email us at theresnoplaceliketerra@gmail.com.
Rate us, like us, review us on Apple Podcasts.
We love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, hurry. I want to watch more Daniel.